This video is brought to you in association with Kitchich Toys, the UK's home for retro and vintage toys.
Alright, Rick Wooler came back again, here with episode 3 of Fanon, where I speculate about shows, films, books and video games using guesswork, ideas I've found on the internet and twisted logic. None of this is official within the shows, just my ideas, how I see it and wild speculation. This isn't canon, it's Fanon. Oh, and naturally, spoiler warning in full effect. This week, we're talking about Thundercats, or more precisely, the evil mutants. This has been something that's bothered me for the past, 30 years, more or less? Why the evil mutants? Okay, I get that in an 80s cartoon, there has to be a designated bad guy, and the mutants were always going to be that. But why did they hate the Thundercats so much? Never really got much of a reason for that. The two planets Thundera and Plundar were at war. That was about it. Still, the real question that bothered me at 4 years old when I first saw the show is, why were they mutants? Now I think I've solved that riddle, and it is the deepest, darkest secret of the Thundercats. Firstly, I want to point out this is not going to feature Ultraman. He's going to get his own fan story at some point. This is all about the other mutants. So, if they're mutants, that suggests they must have been mutated from something. But we never find out what from, or more to the point, how. My theory is that it was the Thundercats themselves, not Lino and co, but Thundercats 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 generations before that had mutated them. They needed slaves they could use as a dependable workforce, doing some dirty task they themselves felt they were above. But what could that task be? Well, they always talked about Plundar being a barren and swampy planet, not a pleasant place to live. But perhaps there was Thundrillium there, the Thundercats' main power source. Now they wouldn't want an outpost there, or at least not one they had to man themselves. What better than to make your own slaves and send them there? I mean, the apes would be there for the heavy lifting, the rats would be there for the tunnelling and mining, the jackals would be there to perform tasks relying more on agility and dexterity, and the lizards would run the camps in the swamps. Every species being there for a reason, all serving a purpose, doing the Thundercats' work. Trouble with the slave labour force though, they will grow to hate their oppressors, and eventually rise up, fight back, throw off the chains, and once they've done that, we have the mutants now in control of Plundar, filled with hate for the Thundercats, but with enough of their technology to build vehicles and even starships. They even managed to forge their own blade to rally round in the Sword of Plundar. All it takes now is a smooth-talking, charismatic leader to direct them to war. So over the next 50 years, 100 years, the two planets fight. Brief spells of peace, but mostly they're at war. During this time, the Thundercats grow repentant over what they've done, while the mutants grow more extreme in seeking revenge. Jarga thinks he's ending the war when he throws the Sword of Plundar into the core of Thundera, but instead, he's just dooming the planet, leaving the mutants to follow them to Third Earth and awaken Mum-Ra. Does Lino know that this is the origin of the mutants? Do any of the Thundercats? Jarga almost certainly does, but he's kept plenty of dark secrets in the past, so that's not such a revelation. I also would think Snarf would know, though of course he's not going to be telling anyone either. As for the others, no, I don't think they will know the darkest secret of the Thundercats. How generations before them discarded the code completely, and how it led to them creating their own worst enemies. So what do we think of the darkest secret of the Thundercats? Do you buy it? Do you hate the idea? Have I ruined your childhood with this theory? Remember, this is not canon, it's Fanon. Maybe you have your own theory. I'd love to hear about it. Tell me all about it in the comments below. Remember to subscribe for more. And until next time, see thee.